Redmi Note 7, like most other Xiaomi devices, comes in a white box that contains a section with the user guide, warranty card, and a tinted TPU case. This section also houses the SIM ejector too. Next in the box is the Redmi Note 7. I have the space black color here and it's got some heft to it. We'll set this aside for now. Next we have a USB-C cable and a 5-watt 2-amp charger. This is not a fast charger, but if you do have a fast charger lying around in your home, you should get your device up on juice real quick. The build quality of the Redmi Note 7 is great. It scores a 7.5 out of 10 in my build quality test. It feels like a very premium device and has a very premium heft to it. It's got a plastic back shell which you'd have to take a very close look at to tell that it's actually plastic, but it looks and feels like glass. The variant I have here comes with 3 gigs of RAM and 32 gigs of internal storage, and it sports a 14nm octa-core Snapdragon 660 processor clocked at 2.2 GHz. There's a 4000 mAh battery, a 1080p 6.3-inch Full HD Plus IPS LCD display panel that sports a water drop notch, and in that notch we have a 13-megapixel f2.2 selfie camera that shoots video at 1080p at 30 frames per second. For those of you who like to know the PPI rating, the Note 7 has got a pixel density of 409. To the back of the device we have a dual camera setup consisting of a 48-megapixel primary and 5-megapixel depth sensor. The rear camera shoots 1080p videos at 30 frames per second or 60 frames per second and also has electronic image stabilization. More on this later. As for physical buttons placements, we've got them all in the usual places. Volume and power buttons to the right, a dual SIM slot consisting of a SIM and a hybrid tray, so you can either use 2 SIMs or a SIM and a micro SD card. To the top we've got a 3.5mm headphone port, a noise cancelling microphone hole, and an IR blaster, which is always a welcome feature and super useful. On the bottom we have the USB Type-C port flanked on both sides with 2 speaker grills. There's a fingerprint scanner to the back of the device, and you also have a notification LED light at a very interesting location. This is located at the bottom of the phone. The included TPU case fits the device snugly, but it doesn't feel like it hugs the device very tightly. You'd feel it occasionally come off the phone without trying very hard. The 6.3-inch Full HD screen on the Note 7 is a pleasure to use. It's got really good color calibration and doesn't seem too saturated. Colors are balanced and the picture quality is very impressive. Watching videos on the screen is enjoyable, and at 6.3 inches doesn't feel too big. In fact, it's quite manageable with one hand. Let's talk about the software for a bit. The Redmi Note 7 comes with MIUI 10 over Android 9 and it runs quite well. Although I experienced occasional stutters here and there, the software is mostly very smooth. MIUI is up there amongst the best Android skins, and just for perspective, I think it's far better and smoother and a more enjoyable software experience than Samsung's One UI. The transitions and overall look and feel is awesome, and no wonder MIUI has a very huge following around the world. It's almost like a cult. Fingerprint unlock is fast, although you'd hear it unlock before it actually shows up on your screen, and the video you're looking at right now tells you what that looks like. I haven't set up face unlock at this time, but will give you an update on that in my full review. As for the camera, I've only had this device for just a day, and from the photos I took, they're pretty good. I took some shots in low light situations and they came out quite okay, as you can see on your screen. Pictures were mostly details, though there were times when the pictures just came out really disappointing. Selfies were okay, there seemed to be some smoothing going on, but they were mostly good looking selfie shots. You have to know, however, that there were some software updates that came in while I was making this video, and it had some updates to the camera software, so I believe there should be some improvements to the camera. My full review should bring you more in-depth look on how well these cameras perform. In conclusion, considering all you'll be getting with this device, a great build, nice design, good performance, beautiful software experience, awesome battery life, and a 1080p Full HD display with impressive color representations and balance, the Redmi Note 7 is at a very good place in the mid-range smartphone market. But is it all pros and no cons? What are the cons, you may ask? Well, There are placements of ads in the OS, however, I've only seen the ads display on the screen that shows up when you're installing an app. Outside that, I haven't seen ads show up in other parts of the OS. I also dislike the fact that the camera bump on the back is quite high. Even with the case on, it still juts out from the case, making it prone to scratches. There are also some stutters when going into recent apps, but this only occurs when using the full screen gestures. Using the buttons eliminates this. The Xiaomi Redmi Note 7 comes in 3 variants, 3 plus 32GB variant, which I have here, and this one costs 58,000 naira. There's also a 4 plus 64GB variant that's going for 66,900 naira, and a third 4 plus 128GB variant going for 75,500 naira. These prices are very competitive when you look at the smartphone offerings in Nigeria, and they cater to mostly everyone who needs an affordable smartphone with great specs. Guys, if you have any questions on the Xiaomi Redmi Note 7, leave them in the comment section of this video, and you can follow me up on social media with those questions as well. My handle is @HenryNeil on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Thanks for watching, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace.